Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the NFC South and predicting who I think will win the division and just give my overall standings of who I think will finish where. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you, and I want to hear your guys' predictions. Who you got finishing first, second, third, and fourth? Comment down below. Getting straight into it though, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, the elephant in the room would be addressing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, reigning Super Bowl champions. They kept all 22 men of their starting roster. They got the GOAT behind the backfield, under center. They got a great offensive line after drafting Tristan Wirfs. Pretty deep backfield. You got a power back in Leonard Fournette. You got a bounce back in Ronald Jones, and you got a good receiving back in Giovanni Bernard. Receivers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller, Gronkowski, Cameron Brate. It's a great room. And on defense, Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, JPP, Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield Jr. We know how good the Bucs are, and I'm probably going to give them first place in the division. It might not sound like a deep take or a deep analyst by any means, but they're the reigning Super Bowl champions. And until time catches up with Tom Brady, until he has that Drew Brees, Peyton Manning type of drop-off, I can't take the crown away from him just yet from saying he doesn't have it anymore. But the battle for second place in the division and also the battle to possibly be a wild card team is still up in the air between the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons. I like the Panthers a lot this year. And the Saints actually caught my eye as well, but with them losing Michael Thomas for about a first quarter to halfway to the season, my mind is definitely changing again. Jameis Winston, he's a big wild card play, and I do think he has a high ceiling, but we don't know what we're going to get out of him, especially without Michael Thomas. Alvin Kamara is a great receiving back, but still, he can't do it all. Defense has some specks of talent. Marshawn Lattimore, Malcolm Jenkins, Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Davenport. But they did lose a couple other things. They lost Jared Cook. They lost Janoris Jenkins. They lost Trey Hendrickson. They lost, of course, Michael Thomas for a little bit. So I do think the Saints team will be a team you don't really want to brush off as if they're nothing. But they're not going to be this Super Bowl threat, I don't think, without Michael Thomas again. A team you don't want to just act like is the Lions or the Texans, but with the top 5 head coach, Alvin Kamara, Jameis Winston, they can steal a game for you for sure. I like the Panthers a lot to be possibly a team that's in the hunt and fight for second place in this division. Now, if Michael Thomas comes back and the Saints are like, 5-3, it's going to be a tight contention for who finishes second in this division and who, turns out to be in the wild card bracket. And who's to say, I'm not trying to say the Bucs are just automatically going to win, but just until I see something different, that's just kind of what I'm going towards. But the Panthers, they're a team that's trending right now, in my opinion. Sam Darnold, a lot's going to be on his shoulders, just like Jameis Winston and the Saints. But outside of him, I like Christian McCaffrey. I like DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall Jr., Chuba Hubbard. They got a lot of rookies that they're going to be depending on. They got a lot of new guys they're going to be depending on. Not just necessarily rookies, but guys that are new to the team. Hassan Reddick, Denzel Perryman, AJ Boye. The squad they got is very young and up and coming. You got Derek Brown, Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, Hassan Reddick, Denzel Perryman. AJ Boye is not the youngest, but he's still a decent corner to have on the squad. Dante Jackson's young. Jeremy Chin's young. JC Horn's young. I like this defense. I like this team, but there's a lot of unproven pieces to it. Sam Darnold, JC Horn, Terrace Marshall Jr., a lot of big names that this team is going to be relying on. Matt Rule, the head coach, is still a little unproven. Everyone loves Joe Brady, but we still got to see, is Matt Rule the guy? I believe in him. I believe in Sam Darnold. I believe in JC Horn. I believe in Terrace Marshall Jr., but it has to come into fruition. I got to see it to fully believe it. Right now, I'm believing in it, but to fully believe it, I have to see it. Falcons, I'm not the bullish on the Falcons this year. I like what they have as far as, just like the Saints, they have specks of talent. Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan's pretty good. I think Michael Davis is going to have a pretty good year. Grady Jarrett's pretty good. Deion Jones is pretty good. Again, specks of talent, but this isn't a team that can be carried by 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. I'm not saying they shouldn't have moved on from, Julio Jones, but I'm just saying they might miss him a little bit. Calvin Ridley's going to step up, and like I said, they brought in Kyle Pitts. Russell Gage will get better. Hayden Hurst is a pretty good tight end. It's a good offensive team, and their team, just like the Saints, where it's like they're probably going to have 4 or 5 wins this year, in my opinion, as far as the Falcons go. Maybe 6 or 7. I do think they might be a little bit better with Arthur Smith, but still, I don't see them being a playoff team. They could have anywhere from 4 to 7 wins, in my opinion. But that's still a team that it's like they got the offensive weapons to really just not brush off and act like it's nothing. You know, saw the Falcons go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs last year. You saw the Falcons crush the Raiders, who were at one point a playoff team last year, like 43-6. They're a team that's going to be a question mark every time you play them. Either way, though, if you can kind of see how the division is shaping out, in my opinion, I got the Bucs finishing first, the Panthers finishing second, the Saints finishing third, and the Falcons finishing last. Again, I'm not trying to just give the Bucs the title and just give the Falcons fourth place, but that's just where it's trending, in my opinion. Looking at the overall rosters, the Bucs don't really have any flaws. They got the GOAT on their side. They're coming off a Super Bowl win, and their division got weaker as far as their biggest opponent, the Saints, took a big drop off, losing Drew Brees, losing Michael Thomas partway, losing Janoris Jenkins, losing Trey Henderson, and of course they drafted positions in the draft to address these things, but still, I don't know about them losing Drew Brees and Michael Thomas for a little bit. That are those biggest pieces. In the division did get tougher. I do think Carolina will be much better than they were last year, but still, Sam Darnold, I don't really bet on him taking down Tom Brady in his first year. We never saw him really take him down when they were together in the AFC East. I do think Sam Darnold and the Panthers team could be a great team in the next year or so, but this year I got to give it to the Bucs. I still think Carolina, New Orleans could play around that wild card range, be in the hunt to make a playoff spot. And like I said, I think Atlanta has a decent ceiling to where if they go on a hot streak, they could get there. It's not a team that I wouldn't be shocked if they ran to the playoffs, but I would be more willing to bet that they don't make the playoffs than they do. Again, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, when that duo was together, I really never wanted to count them out any year. If they were always together and healthy, they were always going to be a lethal threat. And if Kyle Pitts really is the next Megatron, then I can't really count out Matt Ryan and Kyle Pitts to put something together. But still, if I had to bet on it, I do think they'll have 7 or less wins. Saints, depending on the Michael Thomas thing, depending on Jameis Winston, I could see them having anywhere from 6 wins to 11 wins. It just really depends on Winston and Thomas. I'd say 6 to 10 more likely. Panthers, I'd say between 7 and 10 to 11 and 6 is a good range I'd feel confident about. And the Bucs, I feel like their range is 11-6. 11 and 6 is like their floor, and 14 and 3 is like their ceiling. I think the Bucs got a great run this year. They could go 17-0. That's the speculation right now, isn't it? So I guess I could say that's their ceiling, but still, that's never happened before. I'm not saying it's going to happen now. You guys tell me, though, do you agree or disagree? I know there might be a lot of Panthers or Saints or Falcons fans that are mad at my opinion, but again, I'm trying to be positive on all sides. I think the Falcons got a decent thing going with Arthur Smith, Kyle Pitts, but still, as of right now, I'm not in love with their defense to really keep up with themselves. I like what the Saints got as far as foundational pieces, great coach, great backfield, great number 1 receiver. He's just never around recently. Great pieces on defense. It's going to be in development soon. They just need to find the right quarterback. They got the protection. If they could get the right quarterback and a healthy receiver, they're a playoff team. Panthers, I think that's just a hurry up and wait thing. You just got to have patience for all these young guys and new guys to really click and get used to this offense or this team, this offense and defense, and just really build chemistry together. And the Bucs, just keep doing your thing. Again, not trying to be negative of any team. Those are just my opinions. You guys tell me, though, like I said, do you agree or disagree? And I do want to hear your guys' standings. Who do you think is first, second, third, and fourth? As always, and of course, guys, I truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.